Alright, so this would be reassembly after you've replaced the glass or LCD or whatever you're replacing.
First thing you want to do is take this ribbon cable and slide it back.
You can see I'm trying to get, there's tiny little...
Tiny groove.
Yeah, it's almost like a shelf where you have to kind of fit it in there.
And once you get it back in, clamp down that black piece. Be very careful that they do break very easily. Now the LCD...
Now point with your screwdriver at where you just put that in there. So then, yeah, that tiny little ribbon cable went right in there. You need to be very careful when you put that in there. And especially if you're getting parts off eBay sometimes, those ribbon cables are...
They're a little thicker.
Yeah, they're a little thicker and they're a little harder to get in there. So you kind of sometimes need to position that to where it's a little bit harder to get in. But you can if you're careful.
Next, put down the 2 and put it back on the spot. It should just clamp down.
Yep, that should just click in.
Just like that.
And that was
That's for the
2.
touch screen and digitizer.
Yep, and that one will be labeled 2. It should have a sticker on it.
And the last one's the LCD. That one's a little more complicated because the ribbon cable is very, very stiff. So lining it up is a little more tricky, but it is doable.
Sometimes I used a prying tool to push that down, the back of it.
You guys got a feel for the slot.
Yeah. And you should hear it snap in just like you did with number 2.
There it goes.
There you go. You heard it. You probably could hear it snap in.
These things like to pop up, so you just go with your pry tool over it a couple times to make sure they're pushed down.
Yeah, because if you get the screws in and then something's not connected, you're going to have to take it apart again.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well there it is. Now we'll slide this thing back on.
You kind of just want to push it back down gently.
It'll slide into place. Make sure it's all good. Before you put the screws back in, just...
And there you go, new LCD. Make sure it boots up nice. This is useful too, especially if you have a phone that's out of warranty, because it's going to be a lot cheaper to replace the LCD or the glass. But I don't recommend doing it unless you feel comfortable doing so. Because, I mean, iPhones, it's an easier phone to replace stuff for. I mean, we've looked at, we're looking at replacing an LCD on what was it, a Samsung Eternity?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and there you go. Phone booted up. Make sure the touchscreen works. And you're good to go. Clean LCD, no water damage, and that one would be good. But yeah, the iPhone's pretty much a lot easier than some other phones are, or not. I mean, we've looked at phones that are feature phones that the LCD is actually a little bit more complicated to replace than it is on the iPhone. So it's not too bad if you're somewhat comfortable and you can see what we're doing and think you understand how to do it. If you're out of warranty, it's going to be a heck of a lot cheaper than going to Apple and paying what for a 3GS, $300-400.
For a 3GS out of warranty, you're looking at $400 or $500.
Yeah, for them to fix it or replace it. So that would be our tutorial. Any questions, comments, leave them, or if you want to see anything else, leave it. We'll have some more coming up on iPod Touches soon.